Bourbon! Honey bourbon.
Is this going to be a thing now? Whiskey?
Whiskey.
Whiskey?
Whiskey.
With the E?
Oh, smooth. A lot smoother than Tennessee honey.
It's much more honey.
And welcome back, race fans, to episode number 14 of the Armchairs Racers podcast. I am your host, Tommy Joe, introducing you to...
Alex Reckless!
And we have some throwback action fun to talk about from the Darlington Raceway. So, before we get into that, let's get a little off track and talk about our weekend. How was your weekend, Alex?
I went to the Interrupters.
You did?
I won tickets on Wednesday.
Oh, you did? How was that?
Good. I can send you pictures where I could be like...
Yeah.
No, they were great. It was Interrupters and Frank Turner and fucking whatever his band name is. I've never heard of Frank Turner. Well, I've heard the name.
Frank Turner sounds familiar.
He's an English folk punk guy. But he's actually really good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Some of his songs were slow and swingy and folk, and then he had some a couple fast punk songs. But all around wasn't bad.
Touring with the Interrupters? Or just
yeah. No, yeah, they're on tour together, I guess. But yeah, and then the Interrupters is my third time seeing them now. But a great show as always. We got pretty close, and
good.
I didn't hop in any pits. I wasn't looking to do that, but I had a good time. A lot of cool looking people. It was at the summer stage. It was the first summer stage show of the year.
Yeah,
and,
I saw your snaps, and I was surprised to see you actually there, not on the boardwalk.
I guess.
But you won tickets. So.
I won tickets. If I didn't win, I was gonna be on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
But no, I won the tickets. I'm at work, and they're like, "Call now," and I called, and I got through, and I called my dad up. Actually, I called, and Robin picked up. It was Robin, and
well, I'm sure you two are a first name basis now.
Well, I was like, she's like, what's your name? Alex Rodriguez. She's like, Rodriguez from Marlboro? Yeah. I'm like, yeah. I've had you on here before.
So,
well, yeah.
After you won the Kiss tickets, I was like, we should come up with an Uber type of app where people just hire you to call in and win radio tickets, because your family's always winning tickets left and right.
That's what Mel's mother, Mel told their mother, and their mother was like, well, I want to take, I forget who, but yeah. I was like, and then I saw them, that morning, we were at their parents' house because it was their brother's birthday, so we went to see a family, and her mother was like, I want these tickets. I'm like, okay, what stations? And she was like, I don't know. I'm like, well, that's the thing. You need to know. You
need to know the station so you can call.
Yeah, I always listen. A lot of people still do, but you don't listen to radio.
No, I don't.
FM radio.
No.
I still like to listen to FM radio, and you gotta call.
I just want more tickets right there.
Yeah, right. Turn that down.
Yeah, this guy won 2 sets of tickets to see Kiss for the final shows.
Speaking of which, you and Mike, if you both can, you have to go on the second.
Okay.
Because that's supposed to be when Mel's sisters get married. So I have to go on the first.
You going with Joey?
Unless it doesn't work out, and a ticket's a ticket to see Kiss at the end. I'm sure anybody's gonna go. So I would probably go with Joey because that's probably who he would want to go with. But if it doesn't work out like that, I'm sure he's not gonna turn down a free ticket to see Kiss on.
What are you trying to say about me?
What?
He said he's not going to turn down a free ticket if he can't make it. Oh, is it going to be that big of a deal if he goes with me?
I don't know. We're talking about Joe here.
What's that supposed to mean?
Joey's annoying.
What? Joey Thunder's not annoying.
I love Joey, but he could be Joey sometimes. Joe, I love you. I messaged him. I'm like, I think on Friday. I'm like, are you going to the Interrupters? He's like, no, I'm not going to Asbury. I'm going to Asbury for Nikki's birthday. Nikki's birthday was the night
that day.
He was in Asbury on that day. The fucking guy.
So you know where I was Sunday?
Or
Asbury.
For Mother's Day?
Beer garden.
Oh yeah.
Jill's sister is a bartender at Beer Garden.
I remember that.
We went. I went with Jill's mom and her stepdad.
Okay.
And we had Mother's Day brunch.
Okay.
More like lunch. It was after 12. It was lunch.
Yeah, I know.
That was good.
Mel and their sister hosted their parents. We had a barbecue here. I only went outside to eat. The rest of the time I was watching the race.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I made dinner for the family Sunday. I made those Speedies that you liked from Dover. I had a whole grill full of fucking Speedies.
What's
the chicken from Dover?
Okay.
I had a whole grill full. Is that what
it's like?
Yeah, it's called. It's a upstate New York thing.
Okay.
Like the actual like dressing is like NY State Fair Speedy sauce. But yeah, so I made that Sunday.
Nice.
I had a whole Blackstone grill full of fucking chicken.
Have you seen that guy I've been sending you? It looks like he's grilling on a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, some of that stuff looks so good.
I know. There's so much stuff you can do with it. I love. It's so easy to clean.
I mean, he's just making pasta on it.
I know.
Like he's slapping a bar butter on it.
We gotta get Blackstone to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Because like what helps you become a fat, unathletic nerd talking sports? A good grill.
We need everybody to sponsor.
We do.
Us.
We need Yingling. We need Blackstone. We need Predator from Harbor Freight for generators. We need
all of my wall of Pit Vipers over here.
Yeah, Pit Viper. Yeah. I mean, hey, we'll start wearing our sunglasses at night.
I'm surprised we haven't been wearing them when we do this.
But... You know what? Maybe we'll start doing that. You know what? Next episode, we'll start wearing our Pit Vipers, and we'll keep wearing our Pit Vipers up until Pit Vipers endorses us.
Okay. In
some way, shape, or form. Maybe if I get that media license I applied for, maybe that could, and then we could display that.
Yeah. I mean, if we ever get like a more real thing, we'd probably still have that displayed. Well, I said, I
love how that was the best car that the money team has ever came out with. No, I'm not saying paint scheme, but just like the best running car was that car.
Well, because you had Kaz Growler too.
Yeah. What are we trying to say about Connor Daly, huh?
They didn't give him a good team.
No, they didn't. Man, that I mean,
remember
back in Coda where they had the Bitnile, Indy car and the Bitnile. I wouldn't even call it a cup car. We showed it on the episode. I don't remember what it was, but it was like a Gen 4 car with a splitter.
Oh yeah, that thing.
And a wing.
Dover.
No, it was at Coda.
It was
at Dover too.
No, that was the picture. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was just the picture that we saw.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Ignore me.
Yeah. But yeah, so overall, I had a pretty decent weekend. Sunday I went to Beer Garden, and then I made dinner for the family.
Nice.
And then Saturday, I don't really remember much of Saturday. I didn't do anything, which was nice. That was like the first day that I think I went to bed early, and it was nice. Oh, Saturday I went to go visit my old boss.
What, you went to the bowling alley?
No. Oh, my buddy that
Lincoln?
my buddy's dad that got me the job where I'm at now, he left. He went to Caterpillar.
Oh.
Yeah.
He betrayed you guys.
There's kind of some work drama going on that maybe I'll fill you in after the episode. Yeah. But I don't know who listened to this, so I'm not going to go into any more detail about it. But I'm best friends with his son. Actually, so he's moving back to Tampa from Pensacola because he's having a whole shit episode with his job, and it came up that I might have been flying out Thursday to go help him drive a U-Haul to Tampa. It's not happening, but that's how close we are.
Yeah.
So
this is the guy that you met online, right?
Yes, this is my friends from Craigslist. This is my friend from Craigslist. But yeah, So Saturday I was hanging out with his dad because he's moving back because he's up in like North Jersey and he's moving back down to Monmouth County and he's downsizing. So he was a mechanic before he became a manager.
Yeah.
So he had tools, still tools that I don't have because making that jump from automotive to heavy equipment, like there's still stuff that I just don't have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even when I was in automotive for 10 years, there's still stuff I didn't have for automotive. You know what I mean? I mean, you're always buying more tools. And he gave me a hell of a deal on some nice stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
And but yeah, so that's how my Saturday went. And then Sunday was Mother's Day, and that's how that went. Watched the race. And yeah, so I guess we could get into a little bit of NASCAR news here, and get a little bit back on track, but we're still off track. So NASCAR released the official 75 greatest drivers list, and to no surprise to anyone, Jimmy Johnson was the last one added.
Yeah.
Definitely deserving to be on that list. And then I think since the last episode, I think we added Matt Kenseth and let me see here. So I think within the last couple weeks they added. Well, last couple days since the last episode, they added Matt Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson. I think those were the last two. But I think it's a great list. The original 50 drivers in alphabetical order are about Bobby Allison, Davey Allison, Buck Baker, Buddy Baker, Jeff Bodine, Neil Bonnet, Red Byron, Jerry Cook, Dale Earnhardt, Ralph Earnhardt, Bill Elliott, Richie Evans, Red Farmer, Tim Flock, AJ Foyt, Harry Gant, Jeff Gordon, Ray Hendrick, no relation to Rick Hendrick, Jack Ingram, Ernie Irvin, Bobby Isaac, Dale Jarrett, Ned Jarrett, Junior Johnson, Alan Kluwicki, Terry Labonte, Fred Lorenz, Tiny Lund, Mark Martin, Herschel McGriff. That reminds me of that dog. Remember, that crime-stopping dog that would wear the trench coat?
Yeah,
I think that was McGruff or something like that.
Guess.
Cotton Owens, Marvin Punch.
There's no you in there, so.
Benny Parsons, David Pearson, Richard Petty, Lee Petty, Tim Richmond, Fireball Roberts, Ricky Rudd, Marshall Teague, Herb Thomas, Curtis Turner, Rusty Wallace, Darrell Waltrip, Joe Weatherly, Bob Welburn, Rex White, Glenn Wood, Cal Yarborough, and Leroy Yarborough. And then these are the drivers in alphabetical order made to the 75. What? Did I say something wrong?
Continue.
Okay. Sam Ard, Greg Biffle, Stiff for the Biff, Kurt Busch, Sex God, Kyle Busch, Jeff Burton, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Carl Edwards, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Ron Hornaday, Jimmy Johnson, Casey Kane, Matt Kenseth, Brad Keselowski, Bobby Labonte, Randy LaJoie, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Sterling Marlin, Ryan Newman, Larry Phillips, Mike Stefanik, Tony Stewart, and Martin Truex Jr. Got through all 75. Now, I've seen a lot of backlash with some of the names that were put on the 75 greatest drivers list. And two of the ones that I saw the biggest issue with, which I'm surprised, was Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson.
I guess because they're so new.
I mean, you have 75 years of racing, correct? So, granted that you have 3 7-time champions, that's 21 years worth of champions you don't have. That's 21 champions you don't have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then there's other ones that went 3 times, 4 times, and 2 times. So I would say that anyone that's a champion automatically is on the list, no matter what you did. If you're a champion of the Cup Series, you're on the list.
If they didn't do it now and they just waited to 100, they would still be on it.
Yeah. And I would say even when they do the 100-year, I'm sure William Byron's going to be added on that list. You know what I mean? Maybe even Ryan Blaney,
Mm-hmm. You know who will be on it? Ross Chastain.
Ross Chastain will probably be on the 100 greatest drivers. Because people are like, oh, I can name 100 drivers better than Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. You can't
Name them.
Name 10 drivers. 10. All I want is 10. 10 drivers with the same amount of wins and same amount of championships that are not on this list. That should be on this list.
Well, you say championships, you can't.
Exactly. Because if you don't have a championship, you're not better. You know.
In that case, they're better than Dale Jr.
It is the easiest and hardest championship to win.
It's much more competitive.
It's really competitive, and I think that if the playoff format continues, I think you're going to see. I mean, obviously, you're going to see overall champions, but I think another factor that's going to play into someone's legacy is how many times they made the Final Four.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a factor that you're going to see. Because I feel like if you made the Final Four, you're good.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's making it to the final round.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, we thought we were hoping to see back to back or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're gonna see many. Excuse me. Like any of these big, like champion, like you're not gonna get like you might get like seeing a 4-time champion like tying Jeff Gordon might be the next biggest thing.
Yeah, like I don't think we're gonna see another guy get 5 championships in a row.
No,
no. Like it. I mean, I'm sure in years from now it could change.
Yeah,
but I'm saying, but under this current format, you're never gonna see another 5-time consecutive champion.
No,
never. That's
maybe
never
a back to back, or maybe not back to back, but the next.
Yeah, but
year.
maybe like 2, 1 and 2, maybe.
But it's just gonna be. It's so competitive.
It is.
You can't just guarantee that
because it all comes down to one race now. You know what I mean? Like, I would say that Joey Logano lucked his way into that championship.
He didn't do good the whole playoff, and then he just dominated Phoenix.
Because I remember earlier in the playoffs, I was like, "Where's Joey?" And he was in the better half.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wasn't, like I think he was like 5th or 6th. I'm like, fuck, he's gonna win it.
Yeah.
And he got that win at Vegas, and the 2 most important races in the playoffs is Vegas. Well, as the way it plays out, the first race of the round of 8, and the last race of the. Those are the 2 most important races, because if you can lock yourself in at the first race of the round of 8, you don't have to worry about anything until that last race.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right. And that's what they did, and then they focused on that car.
Exactly. Because was it Larson that won Vegas in 2021?
Well, he won the championship. Though.
Yeah, but Mike, did he win? Did he lock himself in that early? I mean, that's. I mean,
Vegas. Oh,
because I know he won Vegas in the spring. I don't know if he won it in the fall.
I don't know.
But like that race, like those are the most. I would say there's 3 real important races, maybe even 4. Spring Phoenix, Spring Vegas, and then Fall Vegas and Fall Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
I would say those are probably because like Hendrick was strong at Phoenix in the fall this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
in the spring.
In the spring, and I really think they worked on that car after getting their asses handed to them at Phoenix by everyone. Because I think Chase finished 4th.
Yeah, they did not show up last year at all.
Because like usually, like in years past, you would see the top 4 running in the top 4 or top 5, top 6,
unless they get taken out.
That was the most spread out I've seen the top 4 since the playoffs happened.
Yes, for sure.
But I definitely think going forward that like as like your attributes, like it's not gonna necessarily be like, oh, how many championships did you win? It's gonna be like, hey, like this guy was in the Final Four like 90% of his career, or something like that.
We usually don't talk about that, but it will become a thing.
I think it's gonna become a thing that people will talk about how great this guy was.
Yeah, the fact that you made it to playoffs, made it to the end of the playoffs, like you were there, you know, because we say like, oh, these drivers they finish, before that, like you might talk about a driver just finishing good in the standings, but like they never won.
No,
it's just you're gonna be one of those drivers that are always there at the end.
Like Ross finished 2nd last year. No one talks about that.
No,
I mean people do talk about it, but like majority of people don't talk. I mentioned that Ross finished 2nd in the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's leading the playoffs now.
Yep. And it's funny, people are still complaining that when someone mentions that, when people are like, oh, Ross sucks, he's driving into everybody, blah 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 blah. And then people come back like he's in the points lead right now, and then those people rebuttal with the regular series season points don't matter.
It does matter because if he continues doing what he's doing and not
If he
wins a
wins-
race, even if he doesn't win. If you
No,
win
I'm saying if he wins the regular season,
he's guaranteed in.
he's in with like 15
Yeah.
playoff. Like
And-
still get playoff
and without a
points. Yeah.
He's locked in without a win.
Like that still gets you. It's still big to win the regular season. You
Exactly.
still have. It still means something to race good throughout the season. Besides winning and getting into the playoffs, locking yourself in, the regular season does still matter, and winning that championship does still matter.
Now, I think they should go a step further. Because I know we've talked about this in the past. I don't think we've talked about this on the podcast.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I know you've talked about like.
But I think that if you win if you win the regular season, it should be a bye to the final four. Whether it's the four with three other drivers or you're the fifth to the other four. But I feel like they should put a lot of weight
They
on the
could
regular
at least,
season.
Instead of just locking you in, maybe a bye to the next round.
Maybe.
Not all the way to the
I mean,
four.
you technically have a bye with the 15 extra bonus points. Technically.
Technically, but usually someone, is when it comes to the end of it, when it comes down to it, there's going to be winners that are.
Yeah, but I still
you,
feel like they should put a big award to winning that.
Then maybe a bye all the way halfway.
Maybe to the 8. Maybe a bye a whole way to the 8.
Yeah. That's a bigger bump.
Like you could still accrue points and stuff, but if you have to fall back onto it, you can.
Yeah. Like sure.
You would start 8th in the round of 8. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah. If you didn't win or whatever.
Yeah, like you would start 8th.
Yeah.
But like you could still like if you're still dominant, you could still go on that streak.
Yeah. But that gets you past because if you I would say so.
Yeah, I think the regular season champion needs to have a bit more weight to it than it does right now.
I mean, it does.
It does have weight, but I think it needs just a little bit more.
Sure.
Because I mean it's not easy winning the regular season championship. You know?
It's not. It's absolutely not. So it still takes a lot to do that, and
I feel like that would be a good balance between the people like, oh, like you just have to win a couple of races and then you win the championship, which kind of true. It's kind of true, but if you were to put more weight onto the regular season championship, you wouldn't get guys that are dormant during the summer.
Yeah.
Like, oh, whatever. We have enough in the bank. You know, we have enough to go. You know what I mean? Like you would get guys.
It used to be like that.
Yeah, but you would get the guys that would have to be like, oh, I want that. You know what I mean? So like at least I can relax in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure. That is a good idea. Maybe not all the way to the end, but at least halfway.
Maybe just to the third round. That's still the round of 8.
A lot of
like you're locked in. You're locked in no matter what.
Yep, I like that.
But if you have to rely on that provision, you're last.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
There'll probably be a lot of that on this episode because we're in New Jersey and allergy season is in full swing.
I've never had allergies.
Me neither.
Like this.
Me neither.
So
I think you're a little bit far from the mic.
So because we started this talking about, complaining about the 75.
Yeah.
When I looked at you, when you went to read the last 25, when I laid down.
Yeah.
If you want to get into the editing, I don't know if you want to too much, but when like you watch a show or something or a cartoon and someone just starts talking, and then they're reading something and then all the words just start and everything echoes and the words just start scrolling. When you start reading those words, like reading the names
put
up,
reverb on it.
Just put a little reverb and have like a transparent, like the names just start scrolling up, and then I can pop back up and then it'll be fine again. And then when I start, you're just reading, I'm just like here, I'm just here. But yeah, that's what went through my head when you were reading those names.
But anyway, to segue from Ross to Ross, after last week's scuffle at Kansas Speedway, there are no penalties for Ross and Noah. Now, I talked about this in the Funts episode, but I want to get your opinion. How do you feel about there being no penalties going forward?
I have no issue with that.
Me neither. I still think they cut the fight 10 seconds too short.
That
You gotta let Noah get that punch in.
That guy who was with Noah, I think, right?
So that was a security guard.
That was Noah's security guard?
That was NASCAR security guard.
Oh.
Because I was listening to someone in NASCAR, I forgot his name, but someone, like the VP guy, he was essentially saying, like, we don't want the teams to get involved, we don't want other people to get involved, but if we see a fight happening, we want our security guards to break it up right away. Now, the security guard should have broken it up 10 seconds earlier or 10 seconds later.
Right.
Like, either don't let Ross get the punch in, or let Noah get his punch in.
When Noah grabbed him,
just stop it right there.
Put your arm through, separate them. Or if he starts you can't just let one punch.
No, you can't. That's not fair.
I mean, it was a solid punch.
That was.
But Noah was like this, and
he grabbed his arm. Which, that wasn't fair.
No. But when
just make a hockey rules. Just make a hockey rules. Just start
the teams. If the drivers want to fight, the team should just. And if they do get into a fight, give them a race. I don't know. Instead of in hockey you get the 5 minutes or whatever. I don't know if you want to give them the race. I don't know if you give a penalty to the next race, but either give seat them a race for roughing.
I think 5 minutes is a little bit too long, but
I'm saying hockey is their 5 minute penalty. So I don't know if you leave if it's at the end of the race, do you leave? Do you start them with the penalty?
You start them at the end of the field.
No matter what they qualify, they don't race. Qualify. They just don't qualify. They start at the back.
They start from pit road.
I mean,
no. I mean,
are you gonna find them?
Honestly, I like fights in NASCAR, and I'm sure you like fights in NASCAR.
I don't hate it.
I don't think you want to see fights every race.
No.
And especially if it's the same guy that's fighting if it's the same guy starting fights every week, all right, that might be a problem because that's the guy that can't control himself.
Yeah.
But NASCAR is an emotional sport, and drivers are gonna show their emotions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think every now and then it's okay. Just let them at least make contact with each other once, and then break it up, or break it up before it gets to that. Because you can clearly tell that something was going to happen because Noah was grabbing him. Something is going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether Noah's going to try to punch or Ross is going to try to punch. That's just
either stop it there.
Yeah.
Or let them go a little bit. So, I don't know.
But this week, Ross was on the Pat McAfee show. Pat McAfee used to be a kicker for the Colts.
Okay.
And now he's like a kind of like a rival to Barstool Sports.
Uh-huh.
Kind of. It's like that same level of Barstool Sports, but it's just his one show.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a pretty big show. It has a big audience reach.
Yeah.
He was on there. So, that's big, That's getting one of our stars outside of the NASCAR bubble going into the mainstream,
Yep.
Again, I still like Ross. And we'll touch on this more later in the episode. But, I feel like I'm starting to see what people have been complaining about this entire time. But before we get into the race, NASCAR announced that if Bowman doesn't return next week for the All-Star race, Josh Berry will have to race his way in through the Open.
Well, if Bowman was in... I guess because he won last year, right? So he would be in.
I'm not sure because I think they're always changing the qualifications for the clash.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
because they're not points.
Bowman's in.
Is Barry's okay? Not. I guess it's because winning last year.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I would say so then. Yeah.
Because I see both sides. I'm sure the sponsor's upset about it because they want to see their car. Ally wants to see their car in the main show.
Yeah.
But thinking at the same time, this is the All-Star race. You know what I mean? It's not.
Barry's not an All-Star.
No, he's not an All-Star.
I think he could race his way in.
I think he could, and I think that would make for a greater storyline. Because I mean, what is Josh Berry known for?
Short track racing.
So I mean, I think this would be really good, especially for Ally. If he can race his way in, they're gonna get a lot of screen time. A lot of screen time with him racing his way up through the field.
All the races.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's I you know I think it's right. I mean it's not. Barry didn't win last
No.
year. You know.
Either way it went, I would have been happy with it.
Yeah, but
okay,
I think
not happy, but just like I would have been. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. You know.
But yeah, I think he shouldn't just get the spot. So I'm fine with that decision.
Yeah.
But I think he's good enough, and I think he'll race his way in.
All right. So to move into, we'll downshift here, throw it in reverse, and we're gonna go way back to whatever time period that they were throwing it back to in Darlington this weekend, because usually there was kind of
I think when they
started,
but
now it's kind of just whatever. Anyway,
actually, wasn't one of the first throwbacks when the Chevys raced the 57 Chevy?
I mean, that was at Michigan back in 2007.
I thought that was at Darlington as well.
No, that was for the 50 years of the 57 Chevy.
Whatever.
That was
those were the ugliest things.
Because it was on the Gen 4 car, which was just a
sticker,
a race car.
Yeah.
But yes. So we had Throwback weekend at at Darlington. What was your favorite scheme? Or schemes? I'll give you 3. I'll give you 3 schemes that you could love.
I mean the 24 was really nice.
Yeah. I like it.
They did it really well. I think they could have done it a little better, but it was done really well. I mean, it was nice to see the UPS actually have UPS on there for Ross. The Stenhouse having the same scheme is
exactly
so stupid.
But it still looks different though. Like it was
a little fatter.
Yeah.
The brown was a little fatter. The 21 was nice. That was definitely nice.
Yeah.
I mean, they were all so good.
But give me 3.
24. I'll say the 21. And I thought the 43. I'll say the 43.
Yeah.
Only because it was cool how they, it would have been just all blue, but they put the silver in there for the chrome.
So you said 24.
The 21.
24, 21.
And the 43.
And the 43. All right, I'm going to go 9, 1, and 99. Just to pick different.
Okay. Well, I agree with the 1 and 99.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Trackhouse has been, since the next gen car, has had the best throwbacks.
Last year they had both RCR cars.
Yeah, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
No, DEI cars.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Well,
DEI RCR.
Yeah.
But they did it with Coca-Cola.
Yeah, they did it great. But so what are your 3 least favorite schemes?
The 47.
The 47. For me, would that have to be Kevin Harvick's throwback team? Because it was a throwback to a car that didn't happen, and it was the wrong colors.
Well, no. It did happen,
but it wasn't his car.
It was like they made it to be about him, but it's Jeff Green. They did a throwback to Jeff Green.
Exactly. Because it was supposed to be the 30 car that he was supposed to run, the AOL car he was supposed to run in 2001 had Dale not died.
Okay, but it did run, and it was Jeff Green.
Yeah,
and
the colors weren't even right.
It wasn't the same colors.
No, it was Sunny D. The 4, the 20, and what was the other one that was really bad? The 12. Because that was just a slightly modified regular scheme for the...
They added some angles, and they used the colors to make it look like Dave Blaney's
but it just
sprint car.
It looked like shit.
Yeah. I only gave you 1. I was going to say the 47 because I don't know if they didn't know.
Yeah, right? They had no idea that Trackhouse was doing that.
As soon as the one came out, they were like,
oh, fuck, I guess we gotta...
hey, this is our throwback.
Yeah.
Throwback to Tail Chariot. Same thing. So bad. Bring this back up. I agree with the 4. I don't like how they did that.
No.
It's just not, because again, they tried to make it about Kevin Harvick, but it was it was Jeff Green. They threw back to Jeff Green.
And I'll say the most disappointing of all the throwbacks has to be the 5. It's a good throwback.
Yes.
It's a good paint scheme. The car looks great. But we wanted Turi.
Yeah.
We wanted Turi Labonte.
That was a throwback. Now, was Tony Stewart? Was that a 5 car?
Yeah. Okay. No, that was the 88.
So it wasn't even 5.
No. But so I mean, it was still a Hendrick Carr's car. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
So like, it was still the same sponsor.
Yeah.
But we either wanted the Kellogg's car or the Tony the Tiger car.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Also, RCR, what a letdown.
Yeah, they didn't do anything.
Like, they had so many paint schemes that they could pick from.
Mm-hmm.
I guess our source was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely the 20, they could have made it better. I mean, the 24, we were looking at it, like, there was some unused space, but the 20 had unused space.
But I guess because it's like that gold metallic, like, it kind of feels like it's something to look at where, like, you're just looking at black on the 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's pearlescent.
I guess. And I'm going to say it was nice to see the Everham 9.
You didn't like it?
It was a red car.
But that's what the car was.
I mean, the only part of that throwback. Okay, so then you could say the only part of that throwback is the same thing how the 17 car had a throwback to Matt Kenseth's 17.
Yeah, but at least Kenseth. I mean, at least Bill Elliott raced a red car, just a straight red car.
I know.
I mean, it's just
but some of these other cars. I mean, I know that's what he raced. Like all the 9 has been doing, all Chase Elliott has been doing is his dad. Which I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. But like,
now have we come to the point where he's raced all his paint schemes?
I think so.
If he's doing Ray Abraham.
Yeah, I guess so. Did he do the McDonald's night?
Ooh, maybe not. But that might be, a conflict of interest with the sponsor.
True. You might see that on a McDonald's car.
Yeah. Yeah, the what do they call it?
Thunderdog?
The Thunderbat.
Thunderbat?
Yeah, that's what they called it. The when they did the Batman car, the Thunderbat.
Batman car?
Yeah, they had the Batman McDonald's car. Was the Thunderbat. You don't know what I'm talking about?
No. I just know there was like the McDonald's Midnight car. The 98. That wasn't I don't remember that Batman being on that. No, I wasn't talking about that one.
Oh, I was about that one.
No.
Because they even put, like, look at the
they changed. Nice.
Thunderbat from
cool.
Thunderbird to Thunderbat.
Yeah.
Just like when Kluki was going for a championship, they changed it from the Thunderbird to the Underbird.
Underbird. Okay. No, I was saying. Oh my god. I can't spell. I can't type.
Oh, what else is new? Oh, are you talking about the McDonald's at night? The one with the moon on it?
Yeah.
The blue car?
Yeah.
I remember getting that from McDonald's when I was a kid.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was the Mac at night. Or the Mac night. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they did that one already.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that Out of the Groove? Oh, okay.
But yeah.
I think they did that already. I think maybe Bubba did it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What, for McDonald's?
Okay. I think, yeah. That was another thing. So, I guess before, we could talk about it now because we're already talking about throwbacks and stuff. So, I have a little bit of a proposition to talk about here. I talked about this before we started doing the podcast. So, the likelihood of this happening is not likely because, one track's owned by SMI, the other one's owned by NASCAR. One event's by SMI, the other one's by NASCAR. But I think that if it could be possible, you take the Throwback weekend and give it to North Wilkesboro. You take the All-Star race, you give it to Darlington.
So North Wilkesboro gets a points race, gets the Throwback race.
Yes.
And one of the Darlington races, one of the two Darlington
races. Well, the
races,
first one, because you're not getting rid of the Southern 500. That's a crown jewel race. You're not getting rid of that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you make the spring race, the All-Star race, and you make the following. Because, like, you literally now have a racetrack that's preserved from 1996. You know what I mean?
And it is one of the older tracks?
It is. Let's do some.
We talked about. I asked you this, and we.
Yeah.
I think Martinsville. We said Martinsville's the oldest.
Let's see, North Wilkesboro Speedway. 1949 for North Wilkesboro. I want to say Martinsville's 48.
Mm-hmm. But what's Darlington?
Not weather. Martinsville Speedway is from 1947.
Uh-huh.
And then Darlington, I believe Darlington is also 49, or maybe 50.
So it wouldn't be the old. So Wilkesboro would be older. You go Martinsville, Wilkesboro, Darlington.
1949. It opened in 1950.
Okay. So it would go. It's Martinsville's the oldest.
Yeah.
North Wilkesboro, Darlington.
Yeah.
And when they made North Wilkesboro, when they redid it, all they did was modernize it, but it's still, like you said,
yeah.
It
opened 1947. I almost said 1949. Maybe that was when it hosted his first race. Okay, yeah, so it's 1947 for North Wilkesboro.
Okay.
But you literally have a racetrack that's preserved from 1996. Because, like, even when they did the renovations to the facilities, the racetrack is still the same surface from the 80s, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The last time that they repaved it.
Mm-hmm.
The scoring board is still a hand-operated...
They left it?
Yeah. They refreshed it, like they painted it and stuff, but like the top 5 is still
they're gonna have someone in there.
They're gonna have someone updating the top 5, the lap counter, and all that other stuff by hand.
Yeah.
And then they made a digital pole.
Okay.
But they made it look like an old beat up analog pole. It's all digital.
Yeah.
But it looks like
analog.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, that's fucking awesome. You
yeah.
know? And like, okay, yeah, they added the safety barriers. They had to do some updates to it because it's sat since '96.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's where you have the Throwback race weekend. Because that track is just gonna like exude.
They're gonna make this track all about the history.
Yeah. So like, just swap the two. Like, I have no problem with the All-Star race being there, but I'm saying, they've put so much into this track.
To bring it back
to race it more than once, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not gonna race it just for the All-Star.
No. So bring the All-Star race to Darlington, and take the Throwback weekend to the North Wilkesboro.
I mean, I still think the All-Star race and the championship race
should change,
rotate.
See,
so there's no like home field or just any advantage. Like
the only thing with the Phoenix. With the championship race is that you're kind of limited as where you can run it. You know what I mean? Because think about, like, it's been in Homestead, it's been in Atlanta, and it's been in Phoenix.
Yeah.
What do all 3 of those things have in common? It's warm.
Yeah. They could still rotate it around to warm areas.
True. But I'm saying, like, is Kansas City going to be warm in the middle of November?
Could be.
Is like Martinsville definitely isn't warm. Like it snowed at both ends, you know? I mean, do you really want snow getting in the way?
No, I understand. But it shouldn't be one track. It shouldn't just be one track.
I agree with you, but like you just run into like the Super Bowl issue, you know what I mean? Like you're going to have the Super Bowl where it's warm. You know, because like you need people to go. People aren't gonna go.
So at least keep it in a warm climate.
Yeah.
But just
okay. So let's go to Texas.
Okay. Go to Texas
for the season finale, the championship race. You want that at Texas? Not Kona, Texas.
Do both.
I do both. Fuck it, do the Texas infield. But I mean, because obviously
I don't know. You had it at Homestead.
Yeah,
you have it at Phoenix.
True.
Have it at Texas.
But like where could you go? Because like, okay, you have. I mean, you could do Atlanta. I mean, you can't do Atlanta anymore.
Mm-mm.
You can't do Talladega. You can't do Daytona. So that leaves you with Phoenix, Texas. I guess that's pretty warm in the Carolinas, right? You can probably go to Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Darlington. You could go to Wilkesboro.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine. See, I've always been a fan of like, we'll have the championship race at Martinsville, because look at all the drama that happens at Martinsville.
Regardless,
you wouldn't get that at the championship race, because that's what sets up the championship race. You know what I mean? Like, you need Martinsville to be that second to last race for all that drama, because that race is always filled with drama.
It is. It really is.
Like we talked about it before when we did the Martinsville episode. Like that race,
having it
as the second to last race is perfect.
It is.
Because there's always some storyline that gets carried over into the next season.
It's made for heartbreak and
exactly,
and for these big stories. You're right.
Yeah,
and
it's perfect exactly where it is. Perfect. You know, like that needs to be the penultimate race. I know that happened a couple times. That needs to be the penultimate race for the season.
Yeah,
and that's exactly where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only thing that I think you could probably go is maybe Bristol. Because Bristol's definitely big enough to host it.
Yeah.
You know?
It'd be nice. You definitely start filling out the stands.
Yeah.
I mean, because, I know we're in New Jersey, but we've had warm Novembers.
We've had. So you want to go to Dover?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Dover's a good race.
It'd be cool if it was like a legit lottery.
It's possible to do really anywhere.
I mean, not New Hampshire. I mean, I'm sure New Hampshire.
It's possible to do most.
Yeah.
But yes, you do have to take weather into account and keep it in a certain area. But it is possible to move it around. And I think they should.
I think they should too, because it would also add that extra. Now that the final race is the deciding factor, changing it up every year would almost guarantee that you wouldn't have a repeat winner.
Yes. Because also right now it's just, it used when it was at Homestead, that was the only time they went.
Yeah.
So you had to use your notes from last year.
Yeah.
Phoenix, they go there twice a year now.
Yeah.
So
they've been going there twice a year, right? But now one's a championship race.
Yes. So you could use what you have.
Yeah.
Will that change it if a track already had two races? Do you move that one race and switch it with the other run? Maybe, I don't know, or whatever, or does it have three? I don't know. But I think I do think it shouldn't be always be the same race.
No, it should. Track. If they can get the change, they should get the change.
And again, same thing for the All-Star race. That you could do anytime.
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah. But back to Darlington, as we got a little bit off track there. So there wasn't much passing, but you did have some comers and goers throughout the race.
I mean, typical Darlington.
I mean, you had, ever since Truex went to Gibbs, he's made it hard to like him. He's always crying about someone else. Truex, I'm not sure if it was Truex or his crew chief, but they blamed Ross for the contact at the end of stage 2.
Did they?
Yeah. How is that Ross's fault? No matter which way you slice it, no matter if Ross overdrove it in the corner or not. So did you.
Truex drove into him.
Exactly. He drove him up into the wall. And again, kinetic energy. I've had the same. I talked about this to you before. Kyle Larson did nothing wrong coming out of turn 4 at Darlington.
I was talking about before turn 4.
I know. I know. But I'm saying, but when that contact was made, Larson was already on the wall, and the energy bounced him back off the wall, and he spun, which is the same thing that happened to Truex. You know. Again, that like I was saying, I really do like Chastain. He's making it a little bit harder though to get me to keep rooting for him because out of the last 4 races, Kyle Larson is 0 for 4.
I'll keep rooting for him.
I guess you could say he finished second at Kansas, so I guess that's that's obviously a decent finish. But I mean, he should have won Kansas. He had a really fast car at Dover. He was there at the end of Talladega, which super speedways is not his thing. And this year, he's definitely done a complete 180 with his super speedways because he's been up there.
But you still can't judge that because anything could happen.
No.
Anything could take you out.
And then now so you had Talladega, Dover, Kansas was Denny, and now here at Darlington, you had Ross getting in to Larson again. Again. Now, I'm all a fan of hard racing and going for the win. And I still don't truly blame I still don't blame Ross. It sucks. It really does suck.
You could look again. We were looking at the replay of the
But still, there was 2 weeks prior of him fucking.
I know
beating up on.
But they were going back and forth this race.
They were. I mean, and unfortunately, they both got each other out. But I mean, like,
it would have been the same if Truex didn't take himself out in the caution before. They were in the wall. Larson had Chastain in the wall, in that restart. Yeah. It was the same thing. It was the same thing. They were just racing each other hard.
This is hard racing, and this is the byproduct of hard racing. And
it's the end of the race.
It is.
You want to go. You want to win.
I don't fault Ross. But I'm fucking tired of it, like come on, like you can't keep getting away with this. And props to Kyle Larson for not getting out of the throttle, just pushing Ross just straight through the backstretch.
My God, that was. I don't think you've ever seen that.
Ross didn't even slow down. He just
no. I don't think I've ever seen anybody.
No,
do that.
just drive right through him. I mean, that was crazy. But it's like, maybe if Larson didn't already have 2 wins, I'd be upset. Like, he already has 2 wins. He has a little bit to fall back onto. But it's getting old now. Like, pick someone else to fucking keep. Like, where's Denny? Huh? Or where's Chase? Go to Chase.
He's racing everybody hard. Don't worry.
He is. He's committing his Ross Chastarisms fairly and equally. So
he's just trying to get that win. He's got to win this year. So he's trying to get it.
Yeah, he hasn't won in over a year. He hasn't won since the Spring Digger race last year, which is crazy because, like you said, he only had that 2 wins last year, and he was finished second. Mm-hmm. He's doing something right.
I mean, he's still doing good. He's first in the standings.
Yeah, well, he ain't first or last, so
I think he's gonna get a win this year.
Championship or a race?
A race. He's still gonna get a win this year. Don't know where, but he's there. He's just he'll get it. He does have to clean up his act a little bit.
And right before the episode,
as Mr. Hendricks said, like, he's a great driver.
Oh, he is.
And the aggressive racing is great. Just
he's probably getting shades of Kyle Busch.
He's just got to. I think what I saw, I didn't hear the interview, but I saw some of the things. Like, he's just got to clean it up a little bit.
He does.
Like you're playing.
So Justin Marks was on Sirius XM, and he was like, like. It's funny because Justin Marks has always had like this never back down attitude when it comes to Ross. He's like, that's my guy. I'm going to support him 100%. And in this interview, he was kind of more like, I still love Ross. I see a lot of talent. I see a future in him. Mm-hmm. But there are some things we got to clean up and some things that we have to address. And it was kind of the first time that Justin Marks wasn't like this pit bull, that was like, really aggressive. He kind of like I think we got to fix something here. You know, like
he could tone it down a little bit.
Because like in Chevy's eyes, Hendrick is the number one team.
Yeah.
And you're having not the number one team keep taking out the number one team. Chevy might do something. Maybe they might pull back a little bit. You know, I mean, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure if it was a Toyota team going against a Chevy team, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But you have Chevy teammates running into each other.
Yeah. If Byron wasn't there, you could have had another manufacturer going for the win. Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick was second.
That'd be a Ford.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to be. You can't be making enemies.
Yeah.
You could race hard. You could race aggressive. You could bump around, but when you are just taking cars out.
And now yourself, because he always seemed to be the guy that would wreck you and finish in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of like the first week where Ross took himself out
mm-hmm.
in the process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He could just clean it up. I do like his racing.
Oh, I like Ross too.
And he's just he could clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree. I feel like the All-Star race might be a good reset for that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, you know.
Or
it could just amp everything up times 10 because there's $1 million on the line. You know,
there's $1 million on the line. There's no point, so people might be going after him. He could be going after people. Like it's.
Yeah.
That's
it. I mean, like 20 years ago, oh shit, it's $1 million on the line. Now it's like it's only $1 million on the line. You know, like
I mean, fucking for Hendrick Motorsports.
No, that we're get some back some of their fines.
No, I mean, for some of these teams, like $1 million is nothing now. No. I mean,
like I'm surprised they haven't upped up the $1 million in years.
Because where are they going to get the $1 million from?
The sponsor. Because I think it's been $1 million since like the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when
that's not the same money anymore. That's less.
It's not. When Jeff won the Winston Million.
Yeah, that was a big fucking deal.
That was a big deal. I mean, besides the fact of winning those races, but it was like we won $1 million. Like
it was a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Like Larson's probably already a millionaire.
Yeah,
I'm sure Bowman could be a millionaire. You know, like, he's not even that great.
All these drivers now.
But let's talk about why this flag is up here. Because Willie B got the Billy Dub on Sunday. He got his 3rd win of the season. First driver to get 3 wins
this year.
Yep, 3 this year. 7th win overall. And the 100th win for the 24 car.
Number 24.
Well, I guess the number 24, not the 24 car, because it's.
Number 24.
He's actually the 5 team, the Casey Kane.
It's
5.
for the number 24.
Yeah, for the number 24.
They said number 24. Jeff Gordon got 90 something of those wins. 94.
92, I believe. 92, 93.
Jeff has 94 wins.
He has 93 wins. Well, if he has 7 wins.
Yes.
He has 7 wins.
Sorry.
That would mean that Jeff Gordon has 93 wins because Jeff Gordon was the only driver to win prior.
Yes.
With the 24, because that's why they picked the 24, because it was one of the only numbers that didn't have wins on it.
I don't do maths.
I know, or quick maths. But William Byron, like always, he's either dominating the race or he's picking up the slack from Larson. Where Larson will dominate all race, something will happen, and Byron will just fly right by him.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I mean, he was there all race.
Oh, he was. You still have to be in that position for the win, because, I mean, people will always like to say, "Oh, he got lucky because this guy got wrecked out at the end." Well, what about the good guy that got wrecked out early on in the race that you never got to see race? You know, I mean, how many times has a good driver been wrecked out within like the opening laps of the race and you never hear from him?
Yeah.
You know? It's the same fucking thing. It's a matter of time.
Yeah, you just gotta be. You have to be there, and then How it ends is how it ends.
You don't have to be the fast car. You just got to be the first one across the finish line.
Yeah.
But so that kind of wraps up our Darlington recap. Do you have any Darth comments?
I didn't come up with any. I saw some before, but I didn't save any. It's just everybody complaining about Ross.
Yeah, they're either complaining about Ross or complaining about the 75 greatest drivers.
Fucking some of them.
I saw one saying something about how they should start racing at Bristol, going 200 miles an hour. Get rid of the restrictor plates.
Bristol. What the fuck is a Bristol?
I don't know. Maybe they're talking about Bristol. But yeah, Darfs are out in full force. Don't forget to tweet us at Armchair Racers Podcast, and we will read your tweets. Now, next week, we have the All-Star race, the first All-Star race at North Wilkesboro Speedway, the first race at North Wilkesboro Speedway since 1996, and I am so excited for this. This kind of reminds me of the Field of Dreams that Fox did.
Yes.
This is essentially the NASCAR version of Field of Dreams.
For sure.
It is the racetrack of dreams. Because if I told you 10 years ago, hey, in 10 years from now, they're going to have the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro.
If you said 10 years ago, NASCAR
if I said it 3 years ago to you,
there was going to be a race at North Wilkesboro. Because it had trees going out of it.
It did.
Darfs used to be like, oh, go back to North Wilkesboro. You got to go back to the old tracks. And they were crumbling, falling apart.
Yeah.
And now there's racing there and NASCAR's going back. Yeah. It is, it's going to be a spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be nice to see an old track brought back to life. And it's going to, I think NASCAR will put on a good show. Short tracks are always fun. It's got its own personality being on a hill.
Yeah.
Even though it's like a pretty even oval, the two ends are different.
Yeah.
And you drive into them differently, so it's going to make for an exciting race, especially the fact that it's not a points race. It's no holds back. They're going all for it.
Do you think this race eventually becomes a points-paying race? Do you see it becoming a crown jewel?
I don't know about crown jewel.
Do you think this could replace the Indy, but the Brickyard 400? Because people really don't consider the road course a crown jewel anymore.
True.
Some do because it's Indy. It's Indy itself.
I mean, Indy is a legendary track, and
I don't think it's officially a crown jewel anymore.
I mean,
I think we could see this race this race becoming a crown jewel race because you have the Bristol Night Race, the 500, the Southern 500.
I mean, Bristol's not considered one.
The Coke 600, the Bristol Night Race, yeah, it is.
Is it?
The Bristol Night Race is,
okay.
Yeah. I could easily see this race becoming another crown jewel race.
I never remember hearing them call the Bristol Night Race a crown jewel race.
It is.
Okay. Interesting.
But I'm excited for them to go back to.
I always
North
know
Wilkesboro.
like the 500 Darlington, the 600 because it's 600 miles. It's the longest race.
Yeah.
And I mean, Darlington was 500, Southern 500. That's the long. Those two are like the longest race. Daytona's Daytona, and Indianapolis because just the legendary track.
Yeah.
I guess because Bristol's 500 now.
It's Bristol, baby. But do you know that North Wilkesboro Speedway is the first sports venue to be shut down and reopened back to what it was in North America?
Is it?
Yes. Shut down, defunct, gone to the weeds,
mm-hmm.
and come back and host an event of the same series it once did.
I could imagine that because usually when a venue goes down,
it's
destroyed. Yeah.
But this is the first venue in North America that once had a major sports league leave,
mm-hmm.
close,
and
reopen.
Yep. That's cool.
That's impressive.
It is very impressive, and it's with NASCAR.
Yeah.
But it's very impressive, and it's with NASCAR.
Yeah.
But NASCAR's dead. NASCAR's dead. NASCAR's going away.
NASCAR down, Dale died.
NASCAR's dead, and yet that crowd, it wasn't sold out, but that crowd at Darlington
It was a good crowd, yeah.
really good.
That's another thing. I don't know why we're racing on Mother's Day. Like I think racing on Father's Day makes a lot more sense than Mother's Day.
Are you saying we don't care about women?
No, we do care about women because we want to be with our mothers. You know, like I would definitely take my dad to a race on Father's Day. I'm not gonna take my mom to a race on Mother's Day.
Why not?
She's not gonna like it.
Says who?
My mother.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
it's
like baseball. Okay, I can understand baseball on Mother, but like they play baseball on Mother's Day and Father's Day. You know, like, but like if you're gonna pick one, pick Father's Day.
I like I asked before. There must be something else, some other, maybe not even a sports event, but another event that's going on that day that
because like this time of year would be a good break. You have the break, and then you head into the All-Star race.
Yeah. No, but there must be some sort of event going on that's on Father's Day where NASCAR could it would be better off for them to have a week off. Otherwise they probably would race. I don't know. Have they always been off?
It's kind of like alternated.
So that's the thing. There must be something going on this year.
Yeah.
Whether it's sports or not, or whatever, there must be something that NASCAR's like, we're not going to get our views. It would not be worth it for us to race on this day. You just broke it.
I did. Events on Father's. Let's see. Nothing.
You're probably gonna get small things like that. I don't know.
Whatever. Anyway, all I know is I think they should race on Father's Day and be off on Mother's Day. That's what I'm saying. Spend time with the mother.
Race both of them.
Or do that.
It doesn't bother me.
I mean, it doesn't bother me either, but just, you know. But yes, so North Wilkesboro. So what do you expect from this racetrack? From this race and this racetrack?
I have no idea. I just hope a good short track race.
Yeah.
The fact that it's a short track and there's no points involved, I hope a lot of aggressive racing.
Do you think Ross gets his payback? Do you think Ross becomes a punching bag?
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe. Possibly.
You know what I expect? Not so much on-track action, but, you know, from the fans. So, North Wilkesboro has been defunct since 96, correct?
Yes.
North Wilkesboro is in North Carolina, correct?
You said that.
Yes. North Carolina? So, would you say that in the last almost 30 years that the population in North Carolina has grown tenfold?
I'm sure the families probably have added more people.
But I'm saying I'm sure like a lot more people have moved down to North Carolina or moved to North Carolina than almost 30 years ago, right?
Maybe.
You can say yes or no.
Maybe I could say.
I can almost guarantee you that the population of North Carolina is bigger now than it was back in 1996.
But I don't think that people move there.
People move to North Carolina a lot more.
I just think the families have grown.
All right, whatever you want to say. There's definitely more people in North Carolina now than there were back than 30 years ago. I think what you're going to get a lot of complaints of is parking and access to the racetrack.
That was the whole reason why they left.
Because
North Wilkesboro, isn't that in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, like it's like a 2-lane road to get to it.
Pocono's like that.
Yes, but Pocono, like, they make it work, though. You know what I mean? because like
it's a
they'll
two-lane.
like divert traffic and
Yeah.
but I really feel like a lot of the issues, like you're gonna have a lot of people complain about getting to the track. That's what I think you're gonna get a lot about.
So do you think it's gonna be so bad and they don't go back?
Oh no, they're gonna go back. But what I'm saying was like, do you think Dover was always that easy to get to? I mean, granted, it's in the middle of Route 1 and the malls and all that, but like I feel like the infrastructure got built up and they made it easier to get there.
I mean, it was always been like that since I've been going. But like I said,
but I'm sure back in 1969, Dover wasn't like that.
Maybe probably
not.
What I mean? Well, I mean, you probably still had the two highways, but they weren't. I'd say what they were now, but at least you still had the two highways.
Yeah,
it's in between two highways.
But like I'm sure, like as tracks have gotten older, more infrastructure's gotten added. They've made it easier to get to from the highway. You know what I mean? Where I feel like with like North Wilkesboro, you don't have that because it was dormant for 30 years. There was no need to make better access from the highway. You know what I mean? Like,
but they didn't even make that when it existed.
No. But I just think you're going to get a lot of complaints about that because, like, you've also had a lot of complaints so far about the pricing. But, like, when you buy the tickets, you don't buy a one-day ticket. You buy a ticket for the weekend.
You're already buying for the weekend, yeah. And then those prices for the weekend aren't bad.
No, they're totally reasonable. And then people were complaining that it sold out too fast. It's like, this is literally, like, without a doubt, the hottest ticket
this year,
is North Wilkesboro.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there was this same issue with Nashville when it came in. About being able to get to the track. So, I don't know. People live to complain.
Oh, of course, especially NASCAR fans. They do. Yeah. But I think that with the track as abrasive as this is.
Excuse me.
Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Allergies, man, kill me.
With the track as
abrasive as this is, the tire that we have, the action that we have, I think we're gonna put on a great show.
I think so. Yeah, the fact that it is an older racing surface,
and I have a feeling. I have a feeling that we're gonna see tempers flare at the end.
Oh, for sure.
It's not gonna be a race that's gonna be won by a lead.
No.
We're gonna see a wreck for the end. 100%.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And aren't they doing like the makeup of the races like local track racing? Like it's heats and main and
I think it's like that. Yeah. Like the Bristol Dirt Race.
Pretty much, which is good. That's a good thing. I like
the Clash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be set up like that.
Good. Because I know, trying, say before the before like the playoffs or this and that, NASCAR was testing out before the stages, NASCAR was like testing that out with the All-Star race, which is having stages or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure what I read it's heats. So they have a couple heats, you race away in, and like you said, pretty much like the Clash and like the dirt race, which is local racing. It's dirt racing,
which is what everyone claims to love over NASCAR.
Yeah, so they're doing it.
Yeah,
at a local track.
Mm-hmm.
So, suck that.
Yeah, suck that, Darfs. Anyway, I have no idea, but who's your pick?
Ross.
You think he's gonna make it out of there alive?
No. Absolutely, he's gonna wreck everybody.
Yeah.
No,
they're gonna put a bumper guard on his car.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea. It's gonna be a free for all.
I say Jeff Gordon's gonna win.
Yeah.
No, I literally have no idea. I can't even.
You can't because
I know. I think Eric Jones is running. I know there are a couple guys running a Cars Tour car there. I think it's Jones, Suarez. Names are escaping me off the top of my head.
Is that soon? When is
that? It's that week. It's it's this week. I think Wednesday they're doing the Cars Tour at North Wilkesboro.
When did that start?
They did it last year. And that's when they realized how great the service was, and they're like,
No, but
remember
this year's Cars tour, like with the whole new, with the new ownership.
I don't know. But I remember last year that's what made this happen, because they realized how great the service was. Like, we're not tearing this up. We're gonna go back up racing here.
Because that was the whole plan. 1 year race.
Because you also got Larson racing in the trucks, so that's gonna be a little bit more, experience. I think it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people like Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, William Byron. I think those are going to be the guys to look for.
Mm-hmm.
Guys that are good on short tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Berry might be someone to look for.
I don't think he's gonna win, but he's racing his way in. He's gonna be racing all night.
Yeah. I would look for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have no idea.
Can't say who's gonna win, but there's drivers that will definitely do good. It's gonna be a great race. You don't know who's gonna win.
No. But yeah. So anything else that you want to add? No.
No, I don't know. What else? Anything for you?
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
We got North Wilkesboro coming up, the All-Star race. Then after that, we got Charlotte. Let's see. We got.
What was my pick for last year? For last week?
Let me hold on.
What were you gonna look up?
Schedule. Let me look up the funds. Sure. No. Bill.
The fuck did he do?
I don't know. No. I didn't hear Bell at all.
I have Hamlin.
Oh yeah, you picked Hamlin.
What did he do?
I picked Logano. Logano fucked me.
Yeah, he got wrecked.
Hamlin didn't do well either.
He had Harvick.
Yeah. Fucking.
There was a couple Chastings there.
Yeah, 2. Oh, 3. I didn't realize there was 3.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, but Glenn's gonna get that second playoff point. I still have to update this.
Joe got Byron.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, Joey got Byron. Joey Cadillac. But yeah, so we have this is gonna be up until the Father's Day break. You have North Wilkesboro, Charlotte, St. Louis, Sonoma, and that's it. And then there's a break, and then NBC will return.
Wow, that's it for Fox?
Yeah.
And then Nashville and Chicago.
Yes, so
God.
This is William Byron's. This is Hendrick Motorsports' 296th win. So that means that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races to get 3 wins. So we could witness win number 300.
That's totally doable.
Totally.
Oh my God, I hope we see win number 300.
We're gonna see fucking 299. Man, they go to Richmond right after. September 16th. Okay, I could probably do that. Oh, and that's a fucking elimination race too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So
September
16th. So, with all that said...
Oh, I can't do that.
Why?
See here now.
Well, see here then.
I already bought tickets.
Sell them. You'll make money on them.
Foo Fighters.
There's...
Foo Fighters are back. Foo Fighters.
I guess we're not doing Bristol then.
Do Martinsville.
I don't know if I could do Martinsville.
You said something about a wedding, right?
Yeah, I can't. I'll be in Georgia.
We'll go to Florida again for my birthday.
Is it on your birthday again?
Well, last year it was the day. It was the day after or before, whatever. Yeah. Now it's on my birthday.
Bodega? Fuck it. We'll do Darlington. That's Labor Day weekend. We get the extra day. Anyway, so this has been episode number 14 of the Armchairs vs. Podcast. I am your host, Tommy Joel, alongside my co-host here,
Alex Reckless.
Rock and roll!
Rock and roll.